Welcome back to Steve Robb Reviews. Today's review is going to be a little on the electrical side, best practices when you're picking out a box to put some wires in. It's as simple as that. Household wiring, a little bit of a junction box. This is called an octagon box. It comes in various different types. And how do you actually run your wires inside? And what's the best format to pick? You can either use a metallic, non-metallic. There's so many different variations when it comes to electrical code on what you're allowed to use and what you're not allowed to use. And I'm going to show you a perfect example of using an electrical box in a situation where the different styles that you see out there, well, they're not all best suited. So let's go out to my little bit of a utility shed I have out here for storage, and I'll show you one of the boxes I have. I've taken the cover off, and I'll show you one of these in service. Okay, so as you can see above the doorway on my shed, I've got that LED light. It's 120 volts, and you can see I got plate just hanging down. So let's take a look inside and see. So here's the light switch on the wall, and I've brought a feed up, and I brought it over so it'll exactly match the direction of where the LED light on the outside of the building is. And you can see how that's installed. And let's take a good close look at that box and see well, whether this was a good fit for the box or whether you could have used something better. Okay, so I got you pretty well zoomed in there, and you can see this is where I've made my connections, and you can see where the wire comes through the joist here for the feed to the light on the outside. And you can see that this box is mounted flush. There's a lot of these boxes, these junction boxes, that will have, well, you could have two screws on either side, and you tighten up the screws and it will tighten up on your Romex wire. If you take a look at this one here, you could see I've got like a metal retainer for your cabling going into the box. It goes on the inside, it kind of just slips on the inside, and you tighten it down here to tighten down on the wire. And you can see I've got all kinds of clips that go into the joist itself to retain the wire outside of the box. Now this box is very simple. It's the only boxes that I like, because I find the other ones where they have the preformed knockouts on the outside, where you just take the little tab out and then you can tighten down the wire here. The problem is, if you try to drive in a screw to retain your box, that's fine. You can see I put a screw there and I put a screw right here. But the ones that tighten down your cable on the inside of the box with a preformed lip, well, you have to actually mount your box, hit it with a hammer on the outside, see where the indentations are, and then drill holes into your stud, because you can't tighten them down if it's flush mount. They're only meant to go on the side, not on a face like that. So if we just take this here and just tighten it up, and that's it. You're pretty well done right there. So here's the exact same one that I have outside, and let's just take a look at the features here. And you could see here, yeah, it's pretty flush right across the back. There's no screws sticking out or anything, and you can see where you can actually has the holes mounted, so if you wanted to put it on the side of something, you can. And it's completely flush right across the bottom. Now if you want to know where your ground screw is, you can see right here, here's the ground, and it's kind of perforated from the outside in. So this is a bubble coming on the inside. So when you turn it on the other side, when you tighten it up, see the indent? So it's not going to go into your stud. So these are the only kind of boxes that I like, and it gives you lots of options, you know, to mount it. And it's got all the knockouts on it. I'll show you the knockouts next, and I'll show you exactly what I prefer for a knockout bushing or a knockout connector. And that's the next choice you got to make when you're deciding how you're going to run your wires inside. So what you're looking at there is just different size staples for different size cabling, and you would use this on, say, take for instance like 14 gauge cable. same as this one here, and this one here you'd use a lot larger, like number 10. And you can see how this particular one is almost the same kind of style for a cable bushing or cable retainer. There's all kinds of different names for these. But I tell you something, if you take a look at these at your store right now, you'll see what the price is on them, and they are quite expensive now. And I prefer to go with this style right here. They're very simple, they're very easy to work with. And if you're wondering the price, well, I'll show you. I'll just pan up a bit here, and we'll take a look at this box here. Now I got 150 of these, and the price of these are incredibly less than what you're going to actually pay for, you know, one of these connectors. So, you know, when you're thinking about buying, you know, like one of these, you can get these in a 5-pack, and you're going to pay about $1 a piece, or you can buy a whole box of 150 for a whole lot less, and I'm paying around 16 cents a piece for one of these compared to one of these. Now, a lot of people say, well, what's the difference? Well, I tell you what, I don't use these anymore. I only use these. I stopped buying them in the 5-pack because I found them on Amazon for 150 for 16 cents a piece. I thought that's the way to go. So let's just take one of these Octagon boxes, and I'll show you how these here work absolutely great. And they're great with your regular electrical Romex, 14 gauge, 12 gauge, even 10. So let's take a look at that next. So let's just take a look first of all at the cable retention nails that you have here. The straps will hold it down. A lot of people make the mistake thinking that it should be pounded right in there so tight. Well, you know what? It's not. You could see that there's a leg here. It's got these legs here. And the wire is actually on a 14 gauge. You have to buy these to match the wiring. You could see that, you know, there is a huge difference there between where you're supposed to pound it down. You're not supposed to pound it down so it's so tight. I have seen some that just get their hammer and just pound the bejesus out of it. I mean, you don't have to do that. And as you can see on the plastic ones here, yeah, they have the offset here so that you can bring it down snug, but you don't have to pound the wire right into your joist. So there's this style here that a lot of people use. I don't use no more because these are about $1 a piece, right? And these do a great job the way they are. And I'll just show you here. You see in the end there how they're made. And so they go in one way. Well, it's hard to do, but without it being in the box, but you can just see how it's pushed in there like this. You see how that's in there? And that piece of plastic in here retains it. So if you want to get it out, man, you got to put a piece of maybe a screwdriver or something to get it back out, because some of these, they can be pretty tough. See, I can't even get that out. That's pretty tough. That's right in there. So what I'll do is I'll get a screwdriver and I pry it in here, and then you can pull it out. So there it is there. So the whole idea behind this is you have these knockouts that go all the way around your box, right? So I'll just pick one here, and you can see that it's like welded in this spot right here. So you just go to the other side, and they're so easy to do. You can just pound it down, right? And push it inside the box, and then just get your needle nose pliers, and all you do is you just twist it back and forth a couple of times. Let's see if I can do this for you. And then it'll just come out. So the old style, you'd have to put in here like this, and then you could see how this would go on the inside and tighten up. Well, I don't like that at all. I stopped using them when I can just go bang. That's it right there. And then this is what it looks like this. I mean, that's pretty simple. And then you just feed your conductor in like this. Now, I always bare my wires first, and then I can put it in there. So I mean, now that it's in the box like this, it's easier just to compress that little piece of plastic, and you can just pull that through. So that is much easier. Plus, you can take these out easier. And I've ran across a lot of people that actually put the wire in just like this. Well, no, that's a no-go. You don't want to be doing stuff like that, right? You got to use some kind of cable bushing to protect, you know, because there's sharp edges here, right? So what I like about it is you can also, if you run across that, you can also use these to feed in. It'll take you a little bit, but you can feed it in here and go around an existing wire that's in there. See? So take, for instance, if you run across a box that didn't have any and you want to put one in, well, you don't, with this style here, you'd have to take everything apart inside. This style here, yeah, it's got the slot in the side. This is the way to go. This is absolutely the way to go right here. Well, thanks for joining me here today. I think these are fantastic. They work great. Money saver for sure. And so far, I have not found any fault with them. The only thing I'd like to pass on to all my viewers is when you're mounting one of these boxes anywhere, you have to get access to it. You can't, you know, like mount one of these somewhere and have all your wires go in and then put a sheet of drywall over top or plywood or something. They got to be accessible. That's the only thing is for safety. You have to be able to access these. You can't have hidden boxes all over the place. That's all. So thanks for joining me here today. And consider changing your old ways, you know, like I did years ago, on only knowing about the metallic bushings to go into an octagon box. Or there's so many different boxes, whether it's a fuse panel or, you know, I really like these. I find they're very handy, so easy to use. And you know, I can't find no downside to them, to tell you the truth. So thanks for joining me here today. Come back again. If you've never seen this channel before, you're welcome to subscribe and see some interesting things that I do you may not see somewhere else. Cheers.